Trevor Jackson Podcast.
What's good with y'all today on this beautiful New Year's Eve, man? Like, I've been having this conversation on the table for a while now. Like, I've been wanting to talk about this because it's an interesting topic. I didn't think it was an epidemic. I didn't think that many men was going through this. Like, it's a lot of fake smiles and hugs in the world, and you got to be careful who you let in your presence. A lot of folks ain't happy. And this epidemic that came across my desk, like, it's male loneliness. You know, it was a period of time in my life where I had to make some changes, and I had to remove myself from some things and some people. And one of my partners, he sent me this, and he told me, he said, Trev, check this out. This is something that I've been dealing with as of recently. And I just want to share it with y'all and have a conversation with y'all about it because, you know, if anybody dealing with this type of stuff, I think I got a solution for y'all. Real talk. But let's play the clip.
Our Eye on America tonight focuses on something felt by many, but discussed by few: loneliness. While 1 in 2 adults say they're lonely, men often have a tougher time dealing with what the Surgeon General now calls a national epidemic. Here's CBS's Mark Strassman.
God gave us a whole lot more testosterone than the other half of the world. We should enjoy it.
This is Everyman, a guys-only weekend getaway in the Berkshires of Massachusetts.
How you doing? Good to see you.
No drinking, no drugs, no phones. Roughly 50 men placing a premium on authenticity, opening up about struggles men often bury, like loneliness.
We can just be raw and real with each other.
We met Brad from Idaho. John's from Connecticut. Dan lives in Maine. Have any of you struggled with loneliness?
Yeah, I would say I'm struggling with it right now.
And what does that loneliness feel like to you?
Maybe fragility or insecurity.
Does it hit you a lot?
It's low-level consistent.
Loneliness is a poverty of the spirit. What about you? Loneliness an issue?
I don't resonate with loneliness as much as I do my need for belonging.
Absolutely, I have experienced loneliness in the past.
If you weren't working at it, would loneliness come back to bite you?
I would be back where I was 2 years ago, which is when I'm home, I'm not present.
But it's not just regular guys exploring isolation. From Lenny Kravitz to Joe Rogan to Dwayne Johnson.
I know what it's like to be depressed, loneliness, multitude of things.
Even the most macho celebrities now talk about the richness of vulnerability.
As men, we've traditionally been put in a box and given a very small range to express our emotions.
Everyman co-founder Lucas Crump.
There are a lot of men that are walking around not necessarily overtly a loner, but feeling very lonely.
Loneliness can be rough on a man's health. It carries the same physical risks as smoking up to 15 cigarettes or having 6 alcoholic drinks every day. Think about that and this. Roughly 1 in 7 men say they have no close friendships.
Since we moved to Maine, making really close friends has been strangely hard.
In this crisis of connection, one of the Everyman messages, whatever you're feeling, share it.
Hey, I'm having a hard time in my marriage. And that's not something guys usually talk about. So you ask everybody, you're like, who else? And all the hands go up. It's like, oh, I'm not alone.
Their spouses or partners often encourage them to come here.
And there's something about letting our guard down and having fun with other guys. It's hard to replace.
It's a lot of work.
Can be.
But it can be fun at the same time.
Absolutely.
Connection. It's like building a fire. Keeping it alive takes work, but the warmth is well worth it.
Is that gonna work?
Oh, yeah. For Eye on America, Mark Strassman in Sheffield, Massachusetts.
I got some notes in front of me or whatever because I was writing down notes when I was listening to those individuals talk. You know, those was Caucasian individuals on that clip, but it's a lot of black men that feel that way too. I know because I talk to them or whatever. And I got like 5 or 6 things that I took from that conversation that, you know what I'm saying, was intriguing. But first of all, I want to talk about me for a second, just for a second. You know what I'm saying? Before I get into it, it was a period. I think it's a period in every man's life, but it was a period in my life where I had to remove myself from everybody to find out who I was and what I will accept. It didn't have nothing to do with money. It didn't have nothing to do with friends, because when he said that, you know what I mean, he had a hard time when he moved. He had a hard time finding friends. I really don't even believe in friends. I don't believe in loyalty, and I don't believe in respect. You know what I mean? I believe that that's something that I have to honor, and that's something that I have to do, but I don't expect it from anybody else, because you can get it for a while. But like I said on that last podcast that me and Rob did on that live, loyalty, respect, and friendship is dependent upon circumstances. People will change based upon their circumstances. So it all goes back to knowing yourself, knowledge of self, and knowing who you are and what you will accept. So I grew up in a town called Knoxville, Tennessee, and it was interesting hearing people talk about how bored they was. It's boring around here. It ain't nothing to do. I gotta find something to do. And life is too short and it's too much going on for you to be bored anywhere you located. Like, it's bookstores. Some people like, Trevor, I don't want to read a book. It's bike trails. Trevor, I don't want to ride a bike. Well, then you become the problem. When you start saying what you don't want to do, then you become the problem instead of the boredom. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to find out what you like to do. And once you find out what you like to do, you'll never work again, and you'll never struggle with being bored again, and you will never feel alone again, because you're doing what you love to do. And it seems like a challenge though, but when you around people, like, this is what I'm guilty of. I loved family members and friends so much at one point in time. I was watching sports, knowing I really don't give a damn about sports. Watching sports, grilling out, going out to the club, hanging out with people, just so I could be around people that I thought I loved, and friends and all of that. When I was bored as shit, really, I wasn't doing what I was interested in. I would have wanted to go paint, art, ride a bike, go run on the trail, listen to some podcasts, headphones, go stretch, work out. You know what I'm saying? Go eat something different. I like doing stuff that's not normal. So I used to risk my well-being just to be around friends and loved ones when I was younger, because what they thought was cool. You know what I'm saying? Let's watch the game. Let's do this. I was bored as hell because I wasn't doing what I wanted to do. So that can lead to feeling alone, feeling loneliness. You can be married and feel alone because you and your partner, y'all ain't vibrating on the same frequency. It's just interesting, man. And one of the things that I think that people need to take away from this is like competing. It don't always have to be a competition, dog. It don't always have to be a competition. You don't always have to be bigger, badder, and better than somebody else. For real. You don't have to have a flyer car and all of that. We got to get back to uniting and wanting to see your friend win, celebrating your friends' wins, instead of competing against them, saying that, oh, I got to get that too. Or, oh, I got the designer shoes. You just got the Nikes today. Or, you know what I'm saying? It's just the small stuff. Help your people evolve. Quit shooting down their ideas. If they didn't even do a good job, tell them they did a good job so they can do a better job the next time. You know what I'm saying? And I want to speak on, this is the last thing I want to speak on about this loneliness stuff, this loneliness epidemic. And I may be not even hitting the point, but I just want to talk about like certain things that caught my interest from this. And, I see a lot of dudes that be joining groups. My boy Rob did a video on Mad Taffa and him being in the Freemasons. I think that's what it is. And a lot of men join groups because they want to feel accepted. by their peers. They want to feel accepted by society. They want to be a part of a winning team. Now, some people go into a depression because they're not accepted. They don't feel a part of something. But to me, you got to feel like you are the whole team alone. Not lonely, alone. You are a whole squad. It's people that do podcasts and stuff, putting it back on me for a second, that has an engineer, a person that master the audio, a person that do the video, a person that do the graphics. You know what I'm saying? They just get on the mic and talk. Me, I'm the whole team. I do everything on my own. I don't need nobody. That may sound like some greedy type stuff or whatever though, but I don't need nobody. I don't need to be accepted by nobody. I don't need to join a gang. I don't need to join a fraternity or organization or this and that. And I still won't feel alone. Because you're not alone, man. You're great on your own. You don't need nothing to nobody, man. Just find yourself, dog. Real talk. I hope this been influential to somebody. Find yourself. Be alone. And know what you will accept and who you are. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Peace, love, plenty, abundance. Make sure you go get you some money and I'm gone. Chill.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.